This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Hey, all of it, thank you so much for listening to the Men's Room Podcast.
And thanks to our pals at the Advocates Law Firm for being great partners. Yes, even you, creepy Kyle.
Seriously, though, if you'd been injured as a result of somebody else in your car, on your bike, walking across the street, talk to our friends at the Advocates Law Firm and let them help you out.
Yeah, they're the best injury lawyers around, and they want to make sure that you're not taken advantage of. Plus, your first consultation is free.
It's simple. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasted.
Yes, indeed. By the way, someone commented they have elephant ears tattooed on their thighs. You do the math. Today, we chose NBA legend Gilbert Arenas.
I mean, they're tasty, but that seems a little crazy.
Right up here. Or as I like to call him in Jamaica.
Oh.
Come on, Ted. Elephant ears.
Yeah, I was like, oh, man, I love elephant ears.
Oh,
what
God.
flavor?
Penisy.
I got funnel cakes.
Today, we chose NBA legend Gilbert Arenas, or as I like to call him in Jamaica, Arenas. Now, like a lot of former NBA players, I know, Gilbert has a lot of money at his disposal, so it wasn't too shocking that he recently bought himself a Maybach minivan. I mean, why the hell not? He's got 4 kids, he's got a ton of money. Why not buy the minivan? It starts at $175,000. Now, with his oversized bank account, Gilbert decided he wouldn't get just any Maybach minivan. Oh, no. He decided to get a one-of-one Maybach minivan, a concept, if you will. Now, the van was delivered, but Gilbert ran into a bit of a problem when he attempted to familiarize himself with the controls. You see, when you buy a one-of-one, there's no replacements or updates. It simply is what it is. And unfortunately for our friend, the entire technological interface of this very tech-heavy vehicle is in Chinese. Now, we should point out, Gilbert can't read Chinese. Gilbert cannot speak Chinese, so when the car speaks to him, he has no idea what it's saying. And Gilbert does not understand Chinese, and Gilbert cannot operate his own vehicle.
Damn.
Which is not, I mean, it looks awesome.
It does.
He needs to find someone who can read Chinese and tell him what all the buttons are.
Yeah, I guess, but I think the thing also talks to you on occasion. You know, when you're driving.
You gotta ignore it. You got to turn that off.
You got to ignore it.
You got a car that costs almost 200 G's and you can't even give you directions?
He has no idea. And they showed a picture of the board. The dashboard looks awesome. It's just all Chinese characters. But as Gilbert said, he's like, well, I still bought it anyway because I wanted to be the guy that has it. He just can't drive it.
Mm-hmm.
Gilbert. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes a story a story. Hello, Thaddeus. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hello.
All right, Thaddeus, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. You know you have your choice of one of 3 stories. We have the wonderful world of drugs. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? And finally, interior decorating, where you guess the foreign objects that ended up on the inside of someone.
Ooh, let's go with interior decorating.
All right, that is, here's your story. I'm going to tell you right now, as I research these types of stories for this very game, aside from the fact that my Google search history is quite strange, this is one of the stranger stories I've come across. Doctors performing a colonoscopy on a 59-year-old patient. They were shocked to discover something unexpected inside the man's intestine. While exploring the 59-year-old man's colon in search of scarring, ulcers, or tumors, they noticed something crawling on the inside of the man's intestine. Now, how the creature got into the man's gut in the first place remains a mystery, but doctors suspect it may have entered his mouth while he was sleeping. Now, as to how it managed to survive his digestive system intact, they believe it might have something to do with his preparation for the colonoscopy, because in order for the procedure to reveal as much information as possible, the colon must be as empty and as clean as possible, which involves refraining from eating or purging. More than that, the patient is given a cocktail containing, polyethylene glycol, whatever, which they call an osmotic laxative used to treat constipation, which doctors believe may have sped up the creature's journey through the man's digestive system, seeing it safely all the way into his colon. Or the guy shoved it up there. Naturally, the man denies the latter. But whatever the case, what was the creature that was still alive and crawling around inside of the man's anus? Was it a frog, a ladybug, a spider, or a centipede? So frog, ladybug, spider, or centipede. One of these things climbed into his mouth, took the ride into the colon, and was still alive when doctors got there.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Man, I was going to go with dung beetle, but I guess that's not an option.
That's thinking. And by the way, he has a name. It's Ringo.
Oh.
That's what the ladies called him.
Spider, but my gut tells me centipede, so I'm going to go with centipede.
Thaddeus, I'm going to join you, man. It just seems like they have that hard shell, and they could get into a crevice, you know what I mean, and not have the stuff push them all the way out. A spider, it could be woolly or it could be a hard-shelled spider. A ladybug, I think, would die in your stomach. A frog, I think, would die in your stomach.
Think about this poor dude when the doctors say, like, hey, there's a living creature in your butt. Like, what?
But that's if it climbed into his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So you're I still think he might have inserted it.
The doctors strongly suspect. They really do, because he went in for the colonoscopy. It's a scheduled thing. He knew 24 hours out. So the thought is, if he did this intentionally, then he wanted us to find it.
And if he didn't, he was sleeping with his mouth open and the thing crawled in. I think a centipede it is. Ted, what are you going?
I'm going against my instinct. My instinct says centipede as well. But to tell you what, man, he's got a frog in there.
He's got a frog in there. And Thaddeus, you're going to stick with centipede. Final answer.
Yes, sir.
All right, what was crawling inside this guy? Was it a frog, a ladybug, a spider, or a centipede? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Oh, drat. I was driving along minding my own business when that vulgar leech hit my Beamer with his pickup truck. I fear I've fractured my clavicle.
I say, old boy, don't simply put it in the hands of your insurance company to sort it out. Talk with the dedicated road solicitors at the Advocates Law Firm.
Pipe down, you old sod. The Advocates will see your case through to the bitter end and won't sleep a fortnight until they have victory in their grasp.
Jolly good, old man. Jolly good indeed.
You get injured, the Advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Category is interior decorating. I'll profile this.
I'll meet you, boy. I'll meet you at the fair, huh?
Jesus. Doctors discovered something in a man's intestine during a routine colonoscopy. He was actually still crawling and alive inside of him. And the doctors discovered it in there. So what was inside this man's intestine? A frog, a ladybug, a spider, or a centipede?
I grabbed some Clorox wipes, too. Sorry, man, not to spit my drink all over Miles laughing.
Jesus.
My apologies.
His lap?
Maybe that as well. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's
that ain't your drink.
Oh, man. That was the question that we posed to you. What is it they found? I literally just spit my drink all over Miles as we were coming back from there.
I'm good. I got COVID now.
Some unexpected laughter. I did not see that coming. The question: a frog, a ladybug, a spider, or a centipede? All right, now, you and Miles, you went with centipede. It's hard-shelled, might climb in your mouth, survive the trek to... Jesus. Survive the trek. No.
Hard-shelled, might climb in your mouth. Are we still talking about animals?
Jesus. And Ted, you went with the frog.
The frog?
Yes, I was not, in fact.
Oh, damn it.
I'm tired of that rumor. No, believe it or not, a ladybug.
Huh. Get out of here.
Damn it.
Ladybug crawling inside.
He had a ladybug. Right? They have a hard enough shell.
He did not put that in there.
He did not put a ladybug in his anus, but did you think that it climbed in his mouth?
Thanks for clarifying.
That's good luck. Now for all the TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Your choices today will be the Jimmies.
All right.
Silverman's still there.
She is not.
Oh, okay. Darn it.
It's a country singer.
Who?
Or Seth Meyers.
Seth Meyers.
A country singer. Right.
A country singer, I would write down.
I did not write it down.
I see. We're just going to have to guess based on the joke.
We should guess the country singer that may have...
Y'all hear this one? Country singer, maybe?
Or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
It is right there to title. These guys have teams of talented writers that help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
Walmart is looking to hire a cryptocurrency
country singer.
What'd you say, Miles? Y'all get a load of this one, huh?
Hey.
Were we right?
No.
I was like, damn.
Walmart is looking to hire a cryptocurrency expert to oversee their company's digital currency push. At first, digital currency was used to purchase art. Soon it'll be used to purchase volleyball nets and Slim Jims.
Fallon.
Yeah, Fallon.
Yeah, it's Fallon.
Some business news. I read that Walmart is looking to hire a cryptocurrency expert to oversee the company's digital currency push. At first, digital currency was used to purchase art. Soon it will be used to buy volleyball nets and Slim Jims.
It was Maren Morris.
Oh, okay. I have no idea.
Does that help?
No, it doesn't. I think a country singer is better.
Right?
Exactly.
So I was out catching catfish with my bare hands.
Seth Meyers.
Country singer.
Oh.
Travis Barker is flying again for the first time in years after his near fatal... Is that a dog?
Yeah, Travis Barker. I saw him right now.
Oh.
Travis!
Travis Barker is flying again for the first time in years after his near-death experience in a plane crash. His girlfriend, Kourtney Kardashian, convinced him that flying on her private plane was safe. And by private plane, she meant her ass.
Yeah, she did.
Well, yeah, I follow that thing into the depths of hell.
Then just jump off a cliff. Yeah. She fell over. He tried to save her.
Gonna touch her first? I think she's the hottest Kardashian.
Okay.
Kourtney.
I think I know which one she is.
Mm-hmm. In COVID news, Chuck Schumer is calling for a federal crackdown on fake vaccine cards, which apparently are being sold all over the internet. Personally, I'm shocked. You're telling me people figured out how to photocopy index cards?
Seth Meyers?
Valid.
COVID news, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is calling for a federal crackdown on fake vaccination cards, which are apparently being sold all over the internet. Personally, I'm shocked. You're telling me people figured out how to photocopy index cards?
New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy is facing criticism for taking a vacation to Italy amidst a spike in coronavirus cases. He knows he can get that food in Jersey, right? Their state flag is sausage and peppers.
Seth Meyers. I'll go Fallon.
That's Seth Meyers.
New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy is facing criticism for taking a vacation to Italy amidst a spike in coronavirus cases. He knows he can get that food in Jersey, right? Their state flag is sausage and peppers.
Tell you what, the weather outside, there's preseason. Like, as soon as I first heard that joke today and I heard him say sausage and peppers, like, tailgating.
That does sound good.
Time to go.
It does. Which, for another, we were talking about earlier about food stuff. Like, for whatever, there's certain foods you eat in different times of year, but like hammering down sausage and peppers just reminds me of a football game.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man.
Let's see. The Talk, you remember they hired Jerry O'Connell to be on there to be the first male co-host?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they're looking for another male co-host.
Do you think they're booting somebody else, or are they just adding to it?
I'm not sure. They're just saying they're reportedly looking for another male co-host.
Do you think this is indicative of the pandemic and more, people working from home? So they're, I mean, traditionally in the America formula, woman stays home, guy goes to work. But now the guy's working at home and the woman's working at home. So in other words, as far as what is on TV,
as far as their audience
what is on,
going to go.
Exactly. So soap opera wise, I mean, I watch General Hospital, but whatever. I mean, there's not a lot of daytime television for guys.
Well, I think for the Talk too. I mean,
other than ESPN, maybe
the Talk was clearly created to compete with The View.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Right, but they never beat The View. So I think after a while, like for the Talk, they're just like, all right, let's try something else. Let's throw it.
I think you're right. Change your formula. See what happens.
Right.
Make it a little bit different. Yeah.
Right. If you get some ratings down.
Jerry O'Connell, and look, nothing against Jerry O'Connell. It's not that. He's one of those guys that most people seem to like, but I've never thought to myself, man, I wonder what Jerry O'Connell thinks.
Yeah, but you've never thought that about anybody. Meghan McCain, like those people, you just until they do the show.
It's not that. No. You're absolutely right. He might be the greatest host ever. I'm just saying, as the sales pitch goes, there's certain people you find intriguing, even if you don't like Andy Dick.
Okay, all right.
I'm not a fan of Andy Dick, but I'd be like, oh my god, maybe I'm mildly interested in what he has to say. And again, this is nothing against Jerry O'Connell. It's just
kind of like the Cat Williams theory.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And you might think the guy's a moron, but you're going to get something interesting. He seems like such a mild guy. Not in a bad way, but just middle of the road that, you know what I mean?
I was confused Jerry O'Connell with, who's the guy from Ozarks?
Bateman. Jason Bateman.
Oh, no. See, Jason Bateman's the guy I'd be interested in.
They were both child actors in a movie together way back in the day,
Maybe.
right?
I don't know if they were in it together, but they were both child actors. But Jason Bateman, there's something about him where I'd be like, okay, I'm curious to hear what he has
people
to
like
say.
him, too.
I think it's also tough, too, sometimes with actors, right? As I feel like musicians, you just kind of know more of, like, their regular stuff. Whereas, like, with actors, like, there's a lot of actors I really like, and, like they're good at acting, but I have no desire to know what they think as, like, a person.
Right, because musicians, you hear a lot more about their exploits.
And musicians, too, just naturally... Like, they're playing music, but they're in between songs. They're kind of naturally just talking to audiences and saying, hey, this is what we do, or this is what we think about that. Whereas a lot of actors, like, you just know them for their roles. Sure. The red carpet is pretty easy softballs left and right.
Even if you're a musician, you get up on stage, you're still yourself. Unless you go into some persona character like, I don't know, Marilyn Manson or Steel Panther or whatever you do. You're who you are up on stage. It's an expression of you, but it's still you. With an actor, you know them from the role that you like the most. So you could be on TV, you could be in movies, but if you like that person from the movie and somebody else likes it from the TV, one group of fans will know you from the TV and love you from that, and another group will love you from, the movie. So, but it's all acting. It's not really you. So it's not really you.
Right.
Like you're not, I mean, there's a bit of you in there, but it's not.
Sure.
It's not the same because you're taking on someone else's character.
Yeah, you're getting paid to not be yourself.
Right. Well, it's like Jason Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, the character he played on Seinfeld was George. Mm-hmm. So I would identify most with that. But then you realize now, years later, that George was basically didn't physically look like Larry David, but was Larry David.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you go, Larry David then is probably the guy who'd be more interesting.
Right, like it seemed like Michael Richards, Kramer, like that's the character.
No, he was interesting.
You like the most, and then it's like, oh, but he's yelling the N-word. I guess we're not going to hang out.
That ended quickly.
That right before that, we were close.
But he's also one of those guys where I think a lot like the guy who was on Married with Children.
Ed O'Neill.
Ed O'Neill.
That's my man.
I think that if you were to watch him in any other role, a test audience would only identify with him as Kramer. That would be a very tough character to break out of as an actor. He
would have to do a lot at this point.
I will say, if you watch Modern Family, Ed O'Neill, he shedded Married with Children. He was outstanding in his role.
But it would have to be something that would be so different and breakthrough that, you know what I mean, you could identify him as somebody else.
Yeah, and I feel like TV actors, it's easier to go to a movie and do that, and you can kind of see him as in a movie. But even some of those Friends people, right? Like, you got kind of used to seeing... oh my goodness, I can never remember a damn word today. Chandler.
From not Tyler Perry, Jesus Christ.
No, from the character
Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry,
thank you.
So you got kind of used to see. Remember, he was like the first like kind of bigger star outside that TV show. He was in a few different movies that were pretty popular.
But the only one that's really
but now that they're
up,
back on TV, if you saw him in a movie, you'd be like, oh man, what's he doing?
But Jennifer Aniston, I think she's the one that truly broke away, right? Like she has done good things. Like David Schwimmer, I don't know what it is about his face. I don't like it. I don't like him. I'm sure he's nice, but I can't take him seriously. Can't take him seriously in anything other than Friends, and even in Friends, I did not take him seriously. It's no fault of his own. This is how he
if
hits
your
me.
role is really iconic, I think it's tough to break that. Kelsey Grammer could play a general for the Empire in the next Star Wars movie, and as soon as he would walk,
look at Kramer.
Kramer's in space. You know, like I mean, he would never get to
Michael Richards.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Same idea.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, when Michael Richards got in trouble for cursing, or not cursing, but yelling the N-word on stage, like, remember, Jerry Seinfeld went to Letterman, and they had him on via video screen, and Jerry was like, but the problem is every time he popped up on the screen, everybody would start laughing, and it's one of the rare times you see Seinfeld completely break it. It's just like, no, this isn't funny, and it's like, I think Letterman even had to say to him, like, right, but they're used to laughing when he shows up on screen. Like, they know this person did something bad, but it's hard not to.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you're that guy's ass I'm going to kick. Oh, man, call me the N-bomb.
But he did it like Oprah. You're an N-bomb. You're an N-bomb. You get an N-bomb.
Yeah.
He did. He doled him out like,
It wasn't just like a slip of the tongue or, you know.
He doubled down.
He really went after it.
We were talking a little bit about Seinfeld and Larry David. Larry David obviously is not getting any younger, but Jeff Garland, who's you know, his right-hand man on the show, he was on a podcast was just saying he thinks Larry maybe has one more season of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
That seems fair, man. How long has that show been on now?
Well, you got to think he's been writing for Seinfeld, too. So just as far as his age and everything else, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he did a one-off show that had like 2 episodes, 3 episodes, or maybe a movie. But he just doesn't seem like he doesn't have anything else to prove. He's almost, 70-some years old? Like,
right.
He's been doing
He's
this
74.
How many, 30 years, 40
and
years?
it's Larry David. Like, he's not kidding in some of those shows. Like, that's the big story that came out with from Martha's Vineyard and
Obama's birthday party.
Right, and he was like, I'm glad I got disinvited. Like, I didn't want to go to that party and like, have the try to entertain people. Like, that's not what I do. Like, he's like good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Plus, also, he lost a couple years. I've been to Martha's Vineyard once, and that was the talk of the island when I was there.
Was the fact that his wife was having sex with a contractor?
With the contractor. That's why they wrote it into the show.
Yeah.
But literally, she left and with the or I guess they broke up, right? Because she was having a real relationship with the contractor.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And then probably still got the house.
I can't remember if they finished that house or not. I was there waiting.
He finished that cottage.
I was waiting for the ferry and got into one of the most interesting conversations I've ever had in my life with a woman. I mean, she was telling me stories about when the Kennedys partied there and when they stopped, like certain this or that. I was like,
how old was this woman?
Probably like mid-70s.
Okay, yeah.
Sounds like you said on the bench with like a bench with Morgan Freeman, who had all the history knowledge. You know what I mean? Let me tell you a tale, kid.
That's basically what it was. And it's just me and her because we had just missed the one ferry, but all my friends were hanging out for that day. I had to get back. So that's exactly what it was. She just started telling stories, and I was like, oh, what about this? Or what about that? Well, funny you should ask. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she had all the info in there. The other thing, too, was like, Larry David's just one of those people. When you don't want to do it, he won't do it. And Jeff Garland even said that. He was like, look, 3 years ago we thought we were done. We ended up doing another one. He's like, I don't know if he will or not, but it's a low percentage chance, to say the least, with him. Let's see. If you're going to watch something late night tonight, watch Stephen Colbert because he has on Roger Bennett, who is now a famous author, but you might know him also from the Men in Blazers podcast.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. You are listening to The Men's Room.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Well, great balls of fire, Bubba.
What happened, Buford?
That crazy son of a Sal blew right through that four-way stop of Main Street and plowed into my cowboy Cadillac.
Your what?
My pickup truck. And I'm pretty sure my leg is broken, Ted.
Oh, quit your bitching, Buford, and talk with those side busters at the Advocates Law Firm. When I got busted up last month, well, shoot, they made sure those snakes at the insurance company played fair.
Boy, howdy. Even that creepy so-and-so Kyle earned his keep.
So if you get injured, the advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or a classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. A man goes to throw his dog's poop bag away in a dumpster, and whoa, there is a bear in there. Meanwhile, a woman is miffed as for the fourth time her trash disappears from thin air. Man opens Twitter account and after 3 hours and 200 tweets finds himself in jail. Somehow doctor who was watching movie before crashing into a cop's legal team prevails. And a woman's cat saves her life. For real. Her cat. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cop.
All right, our top story. We go to North Carolina, where a man was cited for distracted driving. He was stopped after he had struck a police cruiser while making his way down the highway in his Tesla. What officers discovered is that the man was actually enjoying a movie behind the wheel while his car was on autopilot. Though he was initially cited, the charges were eventually dropped to the insurer, paying out more than $28,000 in property damages. They all were completely lifted. This guy didn't have a single thing left on his record after this was done.
That means he hired some good attorneys.
He did. Being a doctor in his 60s, he's probably got some good people surrounding him. In other news, a man in California has filed a lawsuit with his rental complex and the local waste management for injuries he suffered while walking his dog. This story is crazy. After his dog had finished his business, the man attempted to dispose of the leftovers, and when he finally got the malfunctioning lid lock open, a massive bear was there inside to greet him. Obviously startled, the man attempted to flee the dumpster, falling and twisting his ankle in the process. The bear eventually fled the woods nearby, and the man suffered a torn Achilles that he's seeking to get damages paid for. So that was a pretty wonky fall, if that's what he's dealing with.
I'm assuming he had to be staying in that residency.
Had to be.
You know what I mean? In that complex.
Because he talked about it. That he had seen this thing several times. He had known that it was malfunctioning, but I don't know what exactly his argument was, because if it was malfunctioning to the point where it could have let the bear in, it was also containing the bear. So it was working while also not working. So I would just be happy to get out of a bear encounter without a single scratch other than what I put on myself.
Right there with you.
You know. Torn Achilles versus bear that I just did because I twisted my dumbass ankle on the way out. Okay, I'll take it. Over in England, we find that cats aren't as spiteful as they seem. Local rescue crews were on the lookout for a woman in her 80s that had gone missing and were drawn to the unusual behavior of a cat. The cat was sitting atop a ravine, repeatedly meowing at the rescue crew until finally they came over and found that the woman had fallen down the 70-foot drop. She was airlifted to the hospitals and is in stable condition.
Do we know what the cat was saying, or was it just making noise?
I fully believe the text.
You don't know, like, it's meowing at the
well,
rescue, it's just like, I can't wait for you to die.
It's meowing loud enough where they heard the damn thing on top of a 70-foot cliff down below.
It was.
I understand that, but do you think the cat did that to help her?
Only in the way that the cat doesn't know where else its food comes from.
Guys, my food source is down here.
Get her home
I
now.
don't care about you, but I can't use a can opener. Somebody.
She has the key to the can opener. Help
Leave
her out.
her. Feed me. And all they heard is, wow.
Basically what she's saying, roll over so I can lay on your lap.
I think she kept headbutting her
face first.
What's that, Snowball? She's lost down the ravine? We go to the UK where a woman is refusing to take her trash out. Her unease with taking her bins down to the street started when she had a bag sitting outside that had gone missing in the middle of the night.
So what?
After the theft occurred with other bags that she put out another 3 times, she's been left worried that she and her family are potential targets for identity theft.
They are.
Local authorities are still trying to track down the thief. Miles, I 100% agree.
I don't think you're going in there for a banana peel or anything.
Buy a paper shredder. I mean, take your trash out, man.
It's one of two things. It's somebody trying to steal your identity, or it's a weirdo. And I don't really want my stuff in the possession of either.
I think it's her husband just messing with her. Hey, kids, don't make your mom crazy. Watch this.
Same thing as smell is just taking the trash bin away. Look what it does. Total chaos. A video is making the rounds on TikTok that shows the tenacity of Amazon drivers with a tag of, quote, when Jeff personally guarantees the next day delivery, and features bumper-to-bumper traffic with the Amazon truck abandoning the roadway. The truck plows through the field next to the highway in an attempt to get back on the road. This has drawn humor and concern for the driver, with some worried that he was doing the maneuver while terrified about losing his job.
I'm sure the drivers love to hear that. But what did Jeff just say?
Right?
Yeah, seriously.
Bumper-to-bumper traffic. Bro, there's nothing they can do about that.
Exactly.
Do not put that on them.
Right.
Because you know people are going to get, hey, man, I was told blankety blank. Like, dude, it's rush hour New York City.
Right.
Like, I did the best I could.
To the best of our abilities, it is next day delivery. Sorry. Processing fees or processing times.
Unless
also,
Jeff himself drives it up.
Right?
I'd be like, all right, homie.
Just going to land his spacecraft in your backyard. Here's your package.
There's a giant mechanical penis landing in the yard.
And that is it for headlines with that. Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. Coming up next, it is the Men's Room Happy Hour. More Men's Room coming up exclusively on the Odyssey app. Download the Men's Room Happy Hour. We are up next with a return of the effing news and Man versus Beast.
It's all true. In the meantime, we be all about this bitch for 90 seconds. So until then, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man!
A Double Flush production.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.